Welcome back. So today we're going to take a look at Detective Comics 651, A Bullet for Bullock. This is one of my favorite stories. Before I got the book, I actually just got this book a week ago, but before I got it, I saw an episode from the original 1991 Batman the Animated Series that was based on this comic story, and it's one of my favorite episodes, and it's just a good story. Harvey Bullock is this detective that kind of looks like an unmade bed to me. He's a mixture between J. Jonah Jameson and Homer Simpson because he's he's a pompous ass, and he's always eating. He's not a dirty, corrupt cop, but he is soiled a little bit. He'll bend the rules.
I never took a dime from nobody. I just bend the rules a little sometimes. You understand?
But he is repulsive, and he's always objecting to Batman's very existence, and always trying to start trouble with him. Much like how J. Jonah hates Spider-Man and thinks of him as a menace to society, Detective Bullock is like that with Batman.
And where is this scarecrow?
Well, he got away.
Oh, you mean the commissioner's pet bat here let him get away? What do you got there, vigilante? Looks like police evidence. Give it up. Now! Ooh, looks like I'm gonna have to take it from you.
Bullock! What the blazes is going on here?
Blaze is right, Commissioner. It's attempted arson. Zorro here is withholding evidence.
Things are never what they seem with the Joker.
I guess the night brings out all the wackos.
It was made of jade, worth maybe $100 grand.
I'd like a closer look.
Hey, you can't leave a crime scene with evidence.
You want to stop him? Be my guest.
So, A Bullet for Bullock was written in 1992 by Chuck Dixon with artist Graham Nolan. And with those two, already I know this is going to be good, because Chuck Dixon tells some good stories, and I've mentioned in other videos how I like the way Graham Nolan draws his characters. The story starts with a drive-by shooter shooting at Harvey as he's walking home. This isn't the first attempt on his life. He's received death threat notes in his mailbox and phone calls, and now they're actually trying to kill him. So he knows he needs help, professional help.
And you want my help?
Let's get something straight from the get-go. I think you're a freak and a menace, and those are your good points. But the commish says you serve a purpose, so I go along.
I appreciate your honesty. What's the problem?
Somebody's got it in for me. Tried to give me a fender massage last night. It ain't the first time. Last week, too.
Any suspects?
So many they could have their own zip code.
After Batman agrees to help him, Bullock goes back to his apartment building where his landlord confronts him about his late hours. And remember what I said about Harvey being an ass? In real life, I would find it irritating to have a landlord who is crowding me. He's literally waiting at the door as soon as I get there. He's getting on Harvey about coming into the building late. Harvey is a detective. It's really none of his concern that Harvey comes in late. Dude is a grown man. It's like, leave him alone. But rather than handle it maturely, Harvey decides to be disrespectful to him. And in the comics, he blows smoke in Niven's face, which is highly disrespectful. In the show, though, it's a little different.
There's a doormat outside, Mr. Bullock.
Really? I thought you were the doormat around here, Nivens. Don't crowd me, Dork, or I'll wipe my feet on you.
Take out your garbage once in a while. Your apartment stinks. I won't have roaches in my building. And turn the heat down when you're out all day!
Happy holidays, Nivens.
The next night, Batman meets Bullock back at his apartment, and he tells him that he doesn't think anyone's trying to kill him. A professional hitman would kill him at his house, not out on the streets. He thinks whoever is doing these things, they're just trying to scare Harvey. But Harvey's convinced they're trying to kill him. The drive-by the other night seemed pretty sincere. It's funny to see these two work together because it's such an unlikely pair. It's like two students in class who don't like each other but are forced to work together, and they constantly argue with each other and just get annoyed with each other until they get the job done.
Hey, what am I, some wet-eared rookie? Nobody tells me how to conduct an investigation.
Do you want to live, Bullock? Then pay attention.
While Bruce is running down a list of suspects who may want Harvey dead, Bullock decides to do what he does best and go out for donuts. When he makes his way back to the subway to catch his train, someone pushes him down on the rail while the train is coming. Luckily, the tracks Bullock was on wasn't the ones that the train was going on, but it's obvious now that someone is trying to kill Harvey. Eventually, Batman narrows down the long list of suspects to one, Vincent Starkey, aka Vinny the Shark. Vinny threatened Bullock in court after Harvey busted him in a drug raid. Harvey cost the man an empire, and he got 10 to 20 years in prison. But he was a model prisoner, so he only did 8 years, and he was out back in Gotham. Harvey and Bruce tracked him down at an old warehouse, but Batman is not entirely convinced that Vinny is their guy. He's not the type to just make idle threats, but Harvey's convinced that there isn't nobody else it could be. So they both work together to take out Vinny and his thugs. But back at the GCPD, when Bullock is interrogating Vinny about the death threats he sent to him, Vinny doesn't know what Harvey is talking about, and Bullock knows Vinny is too dumb to lie convincingly, so maybe the case isn't over after all. On his way home, Harvey is confronted by a man in a mask who's holding a gun to him. The man says he warned Harvey to get out of town, but since he didn't listen, now he's got to die. And right before he can pull the trigger, the Dark Knight swoops in and drop kicks him to the ground. And when Batman unmasks the gunman, it turns out it was Harvey's landlord, Nivens.
Nivens?
Why wouldn't you move? Why wouldn't you get out? You and your late hours and your filthy habits. Do you have any idea what your apartment's worth these days?
You wanted my apartment? You mean all this was about rent control?
No. I wanted you gone. You're not a tenant, you're a pestilence. You insult me, you treat me like dirt. No jury in the world would have convicted me.
This is easily one of my favorite stories. Whether you want to read the comic book or watch the animated series, it's really good. And like I said, the artwork is really good too. It's also great storytelling with great characters, and that is the excitement that Chuck Dixon and Graham Nolan bring into comics. Thanks for watching.
You know, it's funny. I was thinking of moving anyway. Neighborhood's really been going downhill lately. Look, I guess I owe you for this.
Forget it, Bullock. You've got enough problems.